T-Fit here. I don't even know what to call this. I guess it's just T-Fit. Think Fit 365. It's the old ways, aka that are still relevant today. We got my big homie here, Sean. Sean, tell him again how tall you are.
6'6".
He's 6'6". I'm 6 on a good day. That being said, Sean has some hip mobility challenges, and you've had these issues for how long?
It's been going on about 3-4 years now.
And that's where you can come in closer, okay?
Yeah.
Just when we do it until we do the movement stuff.
Gotcha.
So 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing. Sean, like many people, they start working out like they 5'5". And a longer muscle is a more effective muscle. So what happens is everything training-wise forces people to go in real tight. When you squat, they say, hey, feet at shoulders. No. This is how you create hip problems. And so then what happens is the body makes adjustments, and actually what he's doing, instead of lengthening that muscle, that motherfucker's doing like this. It's getting tighter and tighter and tighter. So the abductors, normally about this big, now they super tight.
Yeah, extreme, very.
So what we would do is, for instance, and I'm just putting in perspective for that way you get an idea. Show them a lunge real quick.
Just walk towards you?
Yeah, just one lunge. Just step out and do one lunge. You see how tight my guy is? Them hips, back. And here's the thing. I'm 6 inches and not 7 shorter than him. And when I do a lunge, again, foundationally speaking, a longer muscle is a more effective muscle. You actually want to be here. Boom. See that?
Nah. There's no way I'm going to be able to do that.
So the goal is, of course, is to keep training your flexibility through proper strengthening and understanding of the muscles and the body. And in that position, those people who do yoga, you're already stretching the hip. Now when you add weight, you're strengthening the hip as well. Then if you add reps, you're conditioning the strength in the hip while stretching it. Makes sense? That's why you got a lunge like that, because you want a longer, more effective muscle. And again, muscle and strength development are two different things. Muscle is what it looks like. Strength is the actual functionality of it. And that's how you prevent injury, through strengthening the muscle in the way in which it actually works. Make sense? Probably don't, but you get it. So, where do I start people that have some hip challenges? First, usability. How do we actually use our hips and preserve our knee? Well, you start everybody off on a box like this here. And make sure that we're always centered, okay? So see right here already, I'm at a perfect right angle here. My back is straight. Step off, I tackle my heel, meaning I put my heel in the middle of the box. I'll step up and step back down. So I would have somebody do 25 each leg, just so they can practice how to use their knee and hips effectively when doing a step up. This right here, until you can use your knee, aka don't use your knee, then we don't even move forward. So start on the low box, teaching use here. And that means my knee is below my hip. So all I'm really addressing is somewhat of the muscles, but not enough of them to solve a problem. Next, I send them over here, and now look. Now my knee is parallel to my hip. Since my knee is parallel to my hip, now I'm actually strengthening the muscles that are going to help me get up and get down. But I'm still not going to solve a problem if my hips are weak yet. So you got to practice. So here, I'm like this again. Down, technically, I'm moving this way. Heel, no knee movement. Up, down. Again, heel, hip. So I step with my heel, my knee doesn't move, and I finish with my hip. I stabilize my body with my other leg. Always step off, step up, stabilize, finish the movement, come back down. Now again, this is still teaching function now. Use, functionality, and then we get to strength. Now strength, this is where you find out how bad somebody is off. So sometimes I'll start them here if I'm assessing. Now my knee is above my hip. So this is what's gonna happen. Come around front for me. Step back some. When somebody has weak hips and they step on a box where again, their knee is above their hip, they're gonna force, you start with the hip basically. And the hip itself, if it's weak, the knee's gonna collapse in or go out. So what it look like? My hips are weak. First thing people do is they lean forward. See that? That's knee movement. That's knee rotation. You don't want that. That right there is what it looks like. And it's something the body does automatically because your hips are so weak. How it should look like, boom, up. Give it from the side. Back should be straight. Again, it's a step up, not a step forward. Boom. Another thing you don't want to do is bring that foot around. Hip mobility, hip strength, hip flexibility. Boom. When you step up and step down, that knee is not a mover. You cannot grow your knees. This is what people do. Step with the ball of their foot. Step out of that knee. All that knee jerking. Your knee has a lifespan, and it depends on how long you want it to be great, if you would. The minute you start using your knee, the minute you start creating problems. Now we're gonna have Sean run through about 10 reps on everything, 5 each leg, just so you can see not so much just the challenges, but the opportunity for him to learn and then watch what it looks like with somebody who's never done it. So, and this again, people, is use. There you go. You look good. Step off every time. Step off every time.
Oh, both.
Yeah. See, look now. See where it's reaching to? That knee ain't moving. I love when they boom, stepping with their muscles, man. There's all type of modifications you can add.
So let me ask you this: is it better to have my foot further out because I'm taller?
Well, see, that's for everybody.
Because that's what you were saying for the line. So everybody should be going further out. All right, because I tested my own self. I did one closer, and I kind of, even though I did with my heel, I still felt my knee.
Yeah.
Because I pushed like this, but when I did a little further, I felt this.
Look,
I felt
this for me,
on the quad.
This for me is like heaven sick, because this is what used to happen in the gym back in the day when I was pressing it. They're like, Trev, you know, I started doing what you said. I put my foot a little bit further, and now I don't feel nothing in my knee.
I felt this, yeah. It was on quad pushing.
All this muscle. Now the key is you're a fit dude.
Yeah.
So you want to work muscles, not your joints, right?
Exactly. I like my bones.
There you go.
Especially at my age.
You're 37 years old, baby.
Yeah.
And now it ain't even about how strong he is. Now it's like, yo, I want to live well for the rest,
right,
for as long as I can.
Right.
So
I need my mobility, man.
There you go.
So all right.
And now he's feeling all muscle, no joints.
It feels a lot better, man. No lies. No lies.
And we also saw at one time when he was too close, it forced too much strain on his hip, which actually is pretty weak right now. So he want to keep his hip out of the movement, especially while working use, so his body can get accustomed to making the move and correcting it.
So this side is the challenging side, so I did that one easy. This is the side because of the hip.
Yeah.
So let's see how this feels. See how this feels. Step up on it. No problem. Feels a lot better, for sure. Okay. I feel like because now I'm using the power of my quads.
This used to be my favorite thing, watching this happen every time. I've seen this happen so much. Yeah, good on the bench. It's just like this. I remember somebody went to the chiropractor 3 times a week, and they said, Trev, you help all these people. Can you help me? I said, yeah, you gotta do this stuff. And they said, I won't have to take no pills. It literally, they couldn't register the fact that if they just did the proper movements, that their body would heal itself. It would literally heal itself.
I'm a no drug guy. I'm good.
Nigga rather die than pop a pill.
I swear. I ain't gonna be able to do it. Same step, right?
Yep, same thing.
Just a little deeper because I feel like you're going. But it ain't going nowhere. Okay.
You started with your bad leg that time, huh?
I never do that. I feel like I'm more comfortable because I feel like how it feels, you know. I don't feel any stress on it. That's easy. That's easy.
I don't like to see people. You're not understanding. Sometimes I used to tell people, please,
Oh, yeah,
somebody,
that's good, bro.
somebody tell me when I'm wrong, bro.
That's not very.
It don't happen a lot.
Yeah, I mean, let's go to basketball. I might be able to tell you.
Yeah, no, that I don't fool with.
Here, I have to tell you, bro.
And I like this too, people, because I know what he's really dealing with. And people used to come to me because I would take on the challenges that most people wouldn't. And again, it's a process, so right? So mind you, Sean, even though he's a professional in terms of working out, been a professional athlete, somebody like me, I wouldn't even move him to the box right there until we continue to improve his range, functionality, and strengthen in that area. So we wouldn't get there. We'll try a couple on the big box, but realistically, I'm telling you right now, he'll never touch that for at least 3.5 weeks dealing with me. Just to preserve, again, I got to build him up. Huh?
This is gonna be tough. I ain't
Come from this side.
This side right here, facing.
There. No, this.
Oh, right
Like
here. I can already tell this is good.
Woo! See,
I can't.
You gotta crunch forward.
Yeah, I can't like.
That's how them hips get tight though.
And the only way I can actually get up the way using my heel, I feel like I gotta be closer. Because I'm scared. At this point, I'm scared to go this way, this far out. I can already feel it. I have to use my knee.
Yeah.
That's it.
See?
I have to use my knee. So yep, I'm not gonna stay with it.
And that's okay, people, because again, when you start recorrecting the body or addressing the body's weaknesses and issues and challenges, that's what normally happens. And then the more strength he gets, the more his muscle becomes more functional, the easier everything becomes, and then he can start increasing that height a little bit. So again, I'm gonna finish with this. Your knee. So you have a visual. That's where we're starting. Your knee is a joint, a hinge joint. Think of a hinge on a door. When a hinge on a door starts moving, the door no longer works. If your knee begins to move, which you cannot grow, it degenerates, aka the cartilage starts coming up missing, the ligaments and tendons start, wearing down. I'm 250 pounds. I will put up an image of what a knee looks like between here and here. It's all white. This is an all white area. White means ligaments and tendons. If you stretch them, you straighten them. They don't stretch. Your muscles stretch, ligaments and tendons don't. So when I'm looking at my knee and its movement, this right here, leaning forward, movement. How you step, something this simple. Ball of my foot, I'm gonna use my knee. Eventually this shit is gonna hurt. This is one of the most poorly circulated areas of your body. Where are your muscles at? Well, heel, ooh, calf, ham, glute. I feel it already. Just put my heel on this thing. So instead of using my knee, up, boom.
It's amazing how we always talk wrong.
Yeah, see, it's amazing how wrong we was all taught.
Always.
And here's the other thing. Now you got to look at every movement because I put weight on my back sometimes. So this is the other thing people do. What do? They step here, and they lean forward to get up. It's called a step up, not a step forward. So when we step, big chest, everything should be a perfect line. Up and control. And again, you have issues. See how much further I put my foot in that turn? But you got to control the downside, because now keep this in mind. Your meniscus, the padding between your femur and tibia, it regulates the pressure between these two bones. So for those, we've already talked about eccentric. Eccentric is a negative part of every movement, which creates strength, breaks down connective tissue. It's why you get sore. So look at my back, right leg this time. Step it up on my left. If I come down too fast, boom. My knee just absorbed 250 pounds on its own. It can't do that. It shouldn't do that. And that's where people get hurt. Very few times do you see somebody leave the ground and hurt themselves. When they land, boom, disaster strikes. Because how you land matters too, which is why you gotta have good hip flexibility, strength, and even more important, understanding. But again, your knee, can't grow your knee. If your knee starts swelling, that's synovial fluid letting you know that more than likely, you've torn a meniscus. And you need to get some clipping done, or you've done something to sprain your knee or tweak it or whatever the case may be. Could be, it's so many things. So again, step up. This is an intro to step up, people. We ain't even gonna do a lot. This is episode step, so you can keep stepping. And I'll tell you the final trick is walking up 2 stairs at a time. I'll find some stairs, but if you have knee pain, you don't go to the gym, just walk up 2 stairs at a time. And if you don't believe me, I'll show you in the video eventually. Walking up 1 stairs automatically puts your knee in this position. So you do like this, up every stair, and that knee becomes a mover. Now, grandma been walking upstairs for 80 years, ain't never worked out. She stepped off the curb one day, roll her ankle, tear everything in her knee, and it ain't because she lacks strength, it's because she's actually been fucking up her knee for 60 years, walking up 1 stair at a time. If you walk up 2 stairs, automatically, just like we do this right here, you start using your muscles.
Okay, so I have a question for you. You say you want to stare at a time.
Yeah.
Okay. Millions of people, because y'all know you're gonna have millions of people watching this.
Hopefully.
Millions of people, including myself, use Stairmaster for cardio.
Oh no.
So, should we do 2 steps at a time?
No.
Or not do it at all?
I'm gonna tell you right now, that's a good question.
Because millions of people use it.
They do.
I did it this morning. And when he said 2 steps, I was like, wait a minute. I'll be like, and then I see you do that, and I'm like, oh damn, I'm tall. These are all knees. Like,
There you go though. But see, and so the Stairmaster, let me be very clear and say, look, Lord, Stairmaster's a murderer. It is a murderer, bro. It is brutal. Like,
I did it every day for
Jesus Christ, you want to lose some weight? Get on about that. That Stairmaster gonna do it. It's gonna do the trick. How you and it's engaging, right? So because it's so engaging, you're not on that fucking treadmill like this here for 2 hours losing your damn mind. You gotta think about every step, all that stuff. Now the challenge is, I need my knees. And the first thing you do on the Stairmaster, you start leaning forward a little bit, and then tired. Then them knees come in.
That back.
That back.
lower back.
And most people, unfortunately, won't get off the Stairmaster or get back home until they have a problem. Then they gotta come see me or somebody else. You see what I'm saying? So that's a very good question. And to answer his question, no. To answer your question, now, is there a safer way to do the Stairmaster? If I lean back, hold on, and keep my feet here, and now I'm marching. Right. So it's not enough. It ain't even enough stair on that bitch.
I was about to say it ain't.
It ain't enough stair on that bitch. Like, he like
411.
Yeah, 411. Like,
shit, even me, man.
Okay, so what is your supplement for Stairmaster?
there is no supplement.
Step ups.
The step ups for one, but like he talking about pure cardio.
Yeah.
Pure cardio.
Pure cardio. Look,
Walking on the incline on the treadmill. How you feel about
there
that?
you go. There you go. That's a good one. That's a good one. Forces your feet forward and keeps your knee out of the movement. You don't bend back. So people like that ellipse too. Watch that movement. Every time they let's go, boom, boom, lock, boom, boom, lock.
So I should lead a Stairmaster.
If I was a doctor, which I am, Dr. Cochran, prescribing something, I would say no Stairmaster. For you.
Because you know what's wrong with me.
I do know he's got tight hips. I do know that he's training the tightness in his hips. That's what you're really doing too.
Oh yeah, because it's a short motion. I'm barely even moving. I'm not really.
See what I'm saying?
Okay.
And then you already saw how tight he was on something simple as his lunge. So you go, my guy's training problems still.
And you know what else I thought about too? Because you made a point. You said basically most people when they're doing step ups, they step up and they lean forward.
Yeah.
So as athletes, we didn't have you. So coaches always taught us. Now think about this. 50-pound dumbbell, 50-pound dumbbell. Step up. First thing you doing is leaning forward because you got so much weight and you hold it like this. Step up, come down, come down. Step up, step up. I've been doing that for at least 6 years of my life. And because I had naturally strong legs, 50s wasn't enough. So I'm grabbing 70s, 80s. So that's what I'm 245 plus another 180 pounds.
And that's all weight on your knees, your back. It's all starting to click now. That's another moment. And that's why I love and thank all the homies for coming. But like, I knew that Sean for one to be good for camera, but even more importantly, he's open-minded and he gonna go somewhere with you while you giving him the stuff.
It's crazy. If I had you 10 years ago, instead of a 45-inch, bro, I probably had like a 56.
And that right there,
that
we gonna
be scary.
And we gonna get there too, because that's another thing people love. Hey, how do you jump? Well, I fucking can jump. That being said,
literally,
but preservation's key. I'm fucking 33 years old and I can still get up on all 3 of them boxes, and I'm talking about with weights in my hand. But I couldn't do it if I didn't figure this out. I'd have been like anybody else, fucked up. And I don't want to live there. I think quality of life is one of the most important things that we get. It's 1 or 2 things you get to really embrace about this life. One is you get to choose how you want to spend your time. The other thing that you get to do is better yourself. And if you are bettering yourself every fucking day, then I don't know what more you would really want out of life. But I'm like, yo, there's an opportunity for me to improve every chance I get. If something debilitates me, stops me from progressing, then that's a problem. And it becomes psychological, because now fear and all this other stuff sets in. You watch it, you start getting anxiety because you can't do shit, and I don't want to live there. I can't live there. And so part of me saving myself, I start testing on other people and saying, you know, this is working. Then it becomes, how do I communicate it? Because that's the other thing. How do we solve this problem? Well, I wrote the book actually. Use functionality and strength. We're gonna get into a squat one of these days next week probably, and we're gonna keep this shit pumping. And Sean, as always, man, look, thank you for coming, participating in this episode right here. It's huge. It's an eye-opener, hoping for you. And mind you, we'll keep revisiting this stuff because the step-up's got to get better. The communication side, I ain't been doing T-Fit for like 5 years. So part of this is like me rehearsing and getting back into the groove. But at one time, I had over 14 schools, and for 3 years, I saw almost 4,000 or 5,000 kids by myself. So I had plenty of opportunities to practice, and I practiced being great so I could make them better. That being said, people, take care of yourself. Like, subscribe, ask questions. Again, I'm not arguing with nobody who's in the world of fitness. I'm here to help those who need help and bring about awareness, if you would, so you can make, change things in your own life and continue to improve. Take care of yourself, people.